Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Growth English podcast. I'm your host, Emma, and I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you today.
And I'm Liam. It's great to be back in the booth with you, Emma.
We are recording live from our beautiful studio right here in Manhattan, New York. Honestly, looking out the window at the Empire State Building right now, it never gets old. The energy of this city is just incredible, isn't it, Liam?
It truly is. But you know, Emma, as much as we love the hustle and bustle of New York, it can be a lot to handle sometimes, especially when that noise follows us into our pockets through our smartphones.
That is so true. And that leads us perfectly into why we do this show. For those of you tuning in for the first time, welcome. Our goal is simple. We want to help you master English, specifically at that A1 to B1 level, while also giving you the tools to master your life.
Exactly. Well, actually, we believe that learning a language shouldn't just be about memorizing grammar rules from a boring textbook. It should be about immersion. By listening to our conversations, you are practicing your listening skills and picking up natural American expressions.
Right. You're learning real-world English while learning how to become a better version of yourself. It's a two-for-one deal, as we say here in the States. So, Liam, let's get into it. Today's topic is something I've been struggling with. I'm talking about digital minimalism.
Very timely topic. To be honest, in a world that is constantly screaming for our attention, choosing to be a minimalist with your technology is a superpower.
I need that superpower. I feel like my brain is a web browser with 100 tabs open. I'm constantly checking my notifications, scrolling through feeds, and I feel so overwhelmed.
Well, actually, that's exactly what we're going to fix today. We're going to talk about how to declutter your digital life, stop the mindless scrolling, and reclaim your focus so you can actually get things done.
I can't wait. So grab your coffee or your tea, find a comfortable spot, and let's dive into the world of digital minimalism. So, Liam, let's start with the basics. In the intro, you mentioned the digital jungle. Honestly, I feel like I'm lost in one every single morning. The moment I wake up in my apartment in Brooklyn, I reach for my phone. It's like a reflex.
Well, actually, Emma, you are describing a very common habit here in the States. We call it the morning scroll. To be honest, most of us are addicted to that hit of dopamine we get from new notifications.
It's true. I check my emails, then Instagram, then the news, and suddenly I've been awake for 30 minutes, but I'm still in bed. My brain feels full before I even have my first cup of coffee. Is this what you mean by the jungle?
Precisely. The digital jungle is a place where information is infinite, but your attention is being stolen. Think about the apps on your phone. They are designed by thousands of engineers in Silicon Valley specifically to keep you looking at the screen.
That sounds a bit scary when you put it that way, like I'm losing a battle against a supercomputer.
Well, in a way you are. Every infinite scroll feature, where the content never ends, is designed to stop your brain from reaching a stopping cue. In the old days, you finished a newspaper and you were done. Now, the newspaper never ends.
So the first step of minimalism is just noticing this?
Exactly. To be honest, awareness is 50% of the solution. Once you realize that the jungle is trying to trap you, you can start looking for the exit.
Let's talk about social media. Here in New York, everyone is trying to build a personal brand or network. I follow hundreds of people on LinkedIn and Instagram because I'm afraid of being out of the loop.
Actually, that fear is what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. But let me ask you something, Emma. How many of those accounts actually make you feel better about your life or help you improve your English?
Well, to be honest, not many. A lot of them just make me feel like I'm not working hard enough or that my life isn't as perfect as theirs.
That is exactly why you need an unfollow spree. Well, think of your social media feed like a garden. If you don't pull out the weeds, the flowers won't grow.
An unfollow spree. I like the sound of that. So I just delete them?
Yes, if an account doesn't inspire you, teach you something, or bring you genuine joy, hit that unfollow button. You don't owe anyone your attention. To be fair, most people won't even notice you unfollowed them.
That's a relief. I always worry about being rude, but you're right, my mental space is more important than a digital connection with a stranger. Now, let's move to the office. My inbox is a nightmare. I work for a marketing firm here in the city, and the emails never stop. I feel like I have to reply instantly or I'm not doing my job.
This is a huge problem in American work culture. We equate speed with productivity, but actually, responding to emails all day is just shallow work. It doesn't require much brain power, but it's very exhausting.
Exactly. I spent 3 hours on emails and feel like I've run a marathon. What's the minimalist solution for a busy professional?
Well, have you heard of batching?
I've heard the word, but I'm not sure how it applies to my inbox.
To be honest, it's quite simple. Instead of checking your email every 5 minutes, you batch the task. You check it only at specific times. For example, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 4 p.m.
But what if my boss sends something urgent?
Well, actually, most things aren't as urgent as we think. If it's a true emergency, they will call you. By batching, you give yourself deep work blocks. That's when you turn off all notifications and focus on one big task for 90 minutes. You'll get more done in that hour than in a whole day of distracted work.
I love the idea of deep work, but my phone follows me everywhere. Even when I'm trying to relax at a cafe in Greenwich Village, it's right there on the table.
That's because you haven't set physical boundaries. To be honest, the most important rule of digital minimalism is the no phone zone.
A no phone zone, where should that be?
The bedroom, definitely. Actually, science shows that the blue light from screens messes with your sleep. But more than that, your bedroom should be a sanctuary for rest, not a place for work emails or news.
So, no scrolling before bed? That's going to be tough. I usually use my phone as an alarm clock.
Well, here's a very analog solution. Buy a $10 alarm clock. Put your phone in the kitchen at 9 p.m. and don't touch it until after breakfast the next day.
Wow, that sounds like a total reset. It's like reclaiming my night and my morning.
Exactly. You are creating a buffer between your soul and the internet. To be fair, the world will still be there in the morning. Nothing is going to happen in those 8 hours that you can't handle tomorrow.
Okay, Liam, I'm starting to see the picture. Minimalism isn't about hating technology, it's about loving my time. You mentioned something called a digital Sabbath earlier. Can you explain that for our listeners?
Of course. Well, actually, it's a concept that's becoming very popular among high performers here in the US. A Sabbath is a day of rest. A digital Sabbath is 24 hours without any screens.
No phone, no laptop, no Netflix for a whole day in New York City?
Yes, it sounds impossible, right? But imagine a Sunday where you wake up, go to a physical bookstore, walk through Central Park, look at the trees instead of your screen, and have a long dinner with a friend without checking the time once.
It sounds peaceful, but also a little bit lonely.
To be honest, you might feel lonely for the first hour, but then something amazing happens. Your brain slows down. You start to notice the world again. You notice the architecture of the buildings, the sound of the birds, the taste of your food.
You're saying I'll start living again instead of just consuming.
Precisely. Digital minimalism is the art of clearing away the digital noise so you can hear your own voice again. It's about being the pilot of your life, not just a passenger on an app.
I'm ready. I think I'm going to try my first digital Sabbath this Sunday.
That's fantastic, Emma. I can't wait to hear how it goes.
That was such a deep conversation, Liam. I've already started putting my phone face down on the table. But now, for our listeners who are practicing their English, let's look at the golden vocabulary from our chat.
Great idea, Emma. To be honest, for our A1 to B1 learners, these words are very powerful because they are used every day in American offices and homes. Let's start with the first one, overwhelmed.
My favorite word lately. I said, I feel so overwhelmed. Can you explain the feeling behind this word, Liam?
Well, actually, overwhelmed comes from the idea of water covering you completely. In a modern context, it means you have too much of something to handle. You feel like you are drowning in work or emotions.
Right, and for our listeners, notice the preposition. We are often overwhelmed by something. For example, I'm overwhelmed by the number of notifications on my phone, or moving to New York was overwhelming at first.
Exactly. It's a very common way to express stress in a professional way. Now let's move to word number 2, declutter.
I love this word. It sounds so satisfying to declutter.
It really is. Clutter refers to a mess, things that are unorganized. So decluttering is the act of removing that mess. We usually use it for physical spaces, like I need to declutter my desk.
But in this episode, we used it for our digital lives, right?
Precisely. You can declutter your inbox or declutter your home screen. To be fair, decluttering your digital space is just as important as cleaning your room because it clears your mind.
That makes sense. Okay, word number 3 is a bit more advanced, but very important for growth: intentional.
This is a power word. Being intentional means doing something with a clear purpose or plan. It's the opposite of doing something by accident or just because.
So if I pick up my phone because I'm bored, I am not being intentional. But if I pick it up to call my mom, I am being intentional.
Perfect example. In a sentence, you might say, she made an intentional choice to spend less time on social media. It shows that you are in control of your decisions.
I like that. It sounds very proactive. Now, word number 4 is friction.
Now, in science, friction is what happens when two things rub together and slow down. But in the world of productivity and minimalism, friction is anything that makes a task harder to do.
Usually, we want things to be frictionless, like a fast app, but you said we should add friction to bad habits.
Exactly. Well, actually, if you want to stop checking Instagram, you should create friction. For example, by deleting the app from my home screen, I added enough friction to stop my mindless scrolling. It's a very smart strategy.
Mindless scrolling. That's a great bonus phrase for everyone. Doing something without any thought. Okay, our final word for today is boundary.
This is a vital word for life in New York, or anywhere, really. A boundary is a limit or a wall you build to protect your time and energy.
We talked about the bedroom rule as a boundary. I set a firm boundary: no phones in the bedroom.
Precisely. You can also set boundaries with people. He set a boundary with his colleagues by not answering calls after 6 p.m. To be honest, without boundaries, you will always feel overwhelmed.
See, all these words are connected: overwhelmed, declutter, intentional, friction, and boundary.
They really are. To our listeners, try to write one sentence using each of these words today. To be fair, that is the best way to move them from your passive vocabulary to your active vocabulary.
Great advice, Liam. Let's take a quick breath, and when we come back, Liam will share his final growth message for this episode. As we approach the end of our episode, Emma, I want to share a deeper thought with our listeners. We often think of minimalism as losing something, like losing our apps or losing our entertainment. Exactly. It feels like we are giving something up. Well, actually, I want you to flip that perspective. Digital minimalism isn't about taking away, it's about making space. In the heart of New York City, space is the most expensive and valuable thing you can have. Your mind is the same way. That's a beautiful way to put it. Our mental real estate is limited. Precisely. To be honest, every minute you spend scrolling through a stranger's vacation photos is a minute you aren't spending on your own dreams. Every time you react to a notification, you are letting someone else choose what you think about. To be honest, Liam, that makes me feel a bit sad. I want to be the one who chooses my thoughts. And you can be. Remember, your attention is your life. Whatever you give your attention to, you give your life to. If you want a life of growth, you must be the master of your tools. Use your phone to learn English, use it to call your family, use it for work, but then put it away. So it's about reclaiming our freedom. Exactly. To be fair, the world wants you to stay distracted, but your potential stays hidden in the noise. When you silence the noise, you finally hear the person you are meant to become. Wow, Liam, that is so powerful. Let me see if I can summarize this for our listeners in a simple way. Please do, Emma. Digital minimalism is like cleaning a window. The apps and the notifications are the dust. When you clean them away, you can finally see the beautiful view outside. It's about being intentional, setting boundaries, and choosing quality over quantity. A perfect summary, truly. Before we go, we have a question for you, our growth community. We want to hear from you. Think about your phone right now. What is one app that feels like dust on your window? And what will you do about it this week? We can't wait to read your answers. Remember, every small step is a victory in your journey to focus. Thank you for joining us today in our New York studio. This has been the Growth English Podcast. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep being intentional.